You're welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob ENT. It's a Saturday when we recording this. This will probably drop next week on a Tuesday or Wednesday. If you're watching this, all of our viewers, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to us, we got the audio form too on all streaming platforms, but the video is way better. So go swing by YouTube. We are going to talk basketball, as you see, just so there's no confusion. I got my Lakers hat on. I got the purple and yellow on. The purple and gold is Lakers Nation. We got to talk about the Dame trade, Jrue Holiday, Eastern Conference, Western Conference, and we're going to end off the show with an all-time draft of our favorite point guards and shooting guards. But fellas, how y'all doing on this brisk Saturday morning?
Good, bro. I'm good. Get into it. Basketball's back.
Basketball is almost back, man. I'm excited, very excited.
Dame finally got traded. He got traded before, a couple days before training camp. This is how the trade went down. The Blazers got Ayton, Jrue Holiday, Tamari Camera, a couple of first-round draft picks where they could swap. The Suns got Nurkic, Nasir Little, Kevin Johnson, Grayson Allen. Celtics eventually got Jrue Holiday switched off of that. The Blazers got Robert Williams with that, Malcolm Brogdon, and another 2 first-round picks. Just off the rip, who won the trade regarding the Dame and the Jrue Holiday aspect?
I don't know. That's a tough one, honestly, because I feel like both teams got like a really good haul. Like even the Blazers, I feel like got a pretty good haul for all of them. I'm just more so worried about the Bucks point of attack defense now that the trade is over. But I will say that we haven't seen like such a difference in talent pairing since like Kobe and Shaq, if I'm being honest, because Giannis and Dame are going to complement each other so perfectly in a way that we haven't seen, because we got teams like the Clippers and we know that we have, Kawhi and PG, but they kind of, have redundant talents. They kind of do the same type of thing. I think the only team I can say that really has a duo like that we're seeing that doesn't really have the same like talents is maybe Jamal Murray and Jokic. But besides that, I'd say the Bucks like have like the best like duo, just the duo. Like I think they have the best duo, hands down. We haven't seen like such a difference in talent and like good, like being good at that. Like, and since Shaq and Kobe, we haven't really seen that since then.
I mean, the Dame trade is it's funny how it worked out, but I and there's a lot of thoughts I have on it, but I think that everybody involved won. I mean, I think when the Celtics getting Jrue and the Bucks getting Dame, there's not a better point guard you could have paired with a guy like Giannis, and there's no variables. There's no variables with him. You're not going to worry about him not showing up to work, him not wanting to get no vaccine, nothing like that. It's Dame. Dame's going to show up to work and play basketball. And I'm not sure if he's the happiest camper being in Milwaukee at the end of the day. But, I don't know if that's how he wanted this thing to end up. But when I think about the way the whole trade went through, I was thinking the other day that there's maybe 10 guys, 10 to 12 guys, right, that in NBA history that could request a trade and ask to be sent somewhere and go exactly where they wanted to go. And 10 might be a gracious number, honestly, right? If you think about the guys in your lifetime that could request a trade and go exactly where they wanted to go, it's like LeBron, Kobe, Jordan, and then
James Harden.
James would force his way to go somewhere. I don't know that James is necessarily good. I mean, he was good enough at a point. So maybe he's a part of that conversation with a guy like Luka too, right? Like you have to be a bona fide superstar to get your way in that kind of situation. And I'm not saying Dame isn't a superstar, but Dame's in the back nine for sure. He still had a great season last year, but he's older and his contract is crazy. And I just think he didn't have the leverage he thought he had. And I think people thought he was going to get his way and go to Miami, and he just misplayed his hand a little bit with the request to go straight to Miami and in the way he played it and everything like that. It was so off brand for him, too, right? So all in all, I think it's a deal that makes the Bucks the favorite to win a championship. I think even over the Suns, I would take them over the Suns right now. I think the Suns in rim protection is going to be terrible, and playing in the West when you do against Jokic and AD, I mean, that's going to be tough, because you're not going to put Kevin Durant on him. You're not going to play small. And even when the Lakers play small, AD is still going to be a part of their lineup. Like it's going to be tough to deal with. And there are teams that are better equipped and have more depth. So, I think the Bucks are the prohibitive favorite right now because of it. You have Brook Lopez, Middleton. You still got a bench, and you got Campaign coming in just solid, real solid backup point guard to help out with spell and relieve Dame when he's out there playing. So it's a lot. There's a lot. I know we have a lot to unpack with it, but those are my initial thoughts. The Bucks and Celtics are both big winners. I would say the Bucks are a better basketball team right now than the Celtics, even after the trade.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, like they're paper champions right now. Kind of like the Brooklyn Nets the last couple of years. They're champions going into the season. Everybody wanted to crown them the champions, but see what happened with that. I think the Bucks had to make this move because Giannis has been talking a lot. He's been saying how I'm not signing another deal until I know like we're serious about winning, and this is a good step. But again, if they don't win this year, he's a free agent next year, so he could always make a move and leave Milwaukee. So I feel like this deal, it's good right now, but in a year or two, we could look at the Trailblazers and say, yeah, they made out like thieves on the Bucks because they were able to flip Jrue Holiday after getting him like a week later for more pieces. Like this is a young team that they've got some talent. They got Scoot, they got DeAndre Ayton. They got a lot of pieces on that team now that maybe over the next few years they build up and become like a top 5 seed in the Western Conference. And the Bucks, I mean, they lost a lot of depth. The defense should still be all right with Giannis and Brook Lopez there, but like Dame to Jrue Holiday, that's a big step back defensively at point guard. So they got to find a 2. And Middleton, I mean, I don't know how healthy he's going to be and if he can sustain that health moving forward because he's been kind of banged up the last couple of years. But if he can stay healthy, this team, they're obviously the favorites right now in the Eastern Conference to come out. But I have my doubts.
Yeah, before we go on to the next part of the talking about the trade, I wanted to point that out. Chris Middleton over the last 4 seasons, 62 games, 68 games, 66, 33. Giannis, 63, 61, 67, 63. How many games do you think they need to actually play for them to like build that chemistry? Do we see a year where it's like, all right, Giannis played 70 games. Chris Middleton's back, he played 70 games. Because if they aren't healthy, Dame is basically back in Portland.
You got to look at Dame too. His health hasn't been the best either. Like he's missed a lot of games over the last couple of years, and some of that is due to just not even being in competition. But health is a concern to an extent. Like Giannis has missed roughly like 18 to 20 games the last few years, and the shaving of the knee ligaments is concerning moving forward the older he gets. But I think 60 games during the season, they should be able to build some chemistry going into the playoffs. As long as, Dame and Giannis are able to play the majority of those games together, and it's not just like Giannis and Middleton or Dame and Middleton. You got to have like the top 2 guys playing together to build that chemistry moving forward for the playoffs.
I mean, they're just not going to be the defensive team they were.
No.
To Jordan's point, they're just not going to be the defensive team they were before. Without Jrue Holiday being there, it's gonna be they're gonna need time together for sure. They're gonna need at least 60 games, like Miles is saying, I would say, but maybe more time than that. You may need more time because offensively it's gonna come along. I'm sure they're gonna figure that out. They have enough shooting. With Giannis just rolling to the basket and being the basketball Tarzan that he is, he's gonna do what he does. But it's gonna be about a guy like Dame really fitting in defensively because teams are going to attack him. Teams are going to attack Dame over and over and over again. They are. I mean, and we saw in Portland that he's not a great defender. He's not. And he can be stopped. I mean, Jrue Holiday is with Boston. They're going to have to see Boston. They're going to have to go through Boston to get to where they want to go. And Jrue Holiday held him to like his worst playoff series ever. And I don't even remember what year it was. It was 2017. I'm not even sure exactly what year. But he held him to his worst playoff series ever. And I remember the series vividly. I remember Dame playing horribly in that series when Jrue was at the Pelicans and AD had that great series as well. So there's concern about that. There is concern. while I say they're the best team, it is on paper, like Miles said. It's not like the Celtics can't beat them. The Celtics can beat them, and the Celtics' point of attack defense is much stronger. And Jason Tatum's a very good defender. You know what I mean? Like the Celtics could beat them. So I don't want to make it sound like the Celtics are, a pack of Newports and they can't compete. That's not the case. They definitely can. And they could easily smoke the Bucks in a series because their point of attack defense is much stronger. I don't want to discount that at all. So I do think it's going to take time for that team to gel. They're going to need a lot of time, and they can't afford injuries. And Dame's injury history is concerning. He's older. He's in the second half of his career, like I said. It's the reason why he didn't have leverage when he asked to go to Miami solely. That's something he took into account, I'm sure.
Yeah, nobody really talks about how good defensively Derek White is too. Like not just Jrue Holiday, but Derek White. I'm pretty sure him and Jrue Holiday were in like the 90th percentile and like every perimeter defense stat in the league, which is insane. Like to have those two on the court at the same time is going to be like some serious problems for other teams. I'm not even going to lie. But for Dame and Giannis, I feel like offensively it's going to come a lot faster than we see like other duos because like I said, like they're just so different. Like, and they do things like that complement each other so well. It's just like I feel like it's gonna take a couple games, obviously, but I think that it'll come faster. I think the defense is my biggest concern for the Bucks. As for the Celtics, I'm just more so concerned about their injury, like their health. Like Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis being like your only two guys that are really some like actual defensive guys in the front court is gonna be like scary if one of them gets hurt because who they have off the bench like Luke Cornett, like that's gonna be bad if they have to run into Giannis and Al Horford or Kristaps goes down in the playoffs. I don't know, man. It's gonna get scary. It's gonna get dark for them. I'm not gonna lie. So, but they were saying that Al Horford was like the Giannis stopper. I mean, come on, he had like Grant Williams and all of them playing help defense too. I'm like, I like people be dragging that. Like, I don't think that Al Horford single handedly was stopping it. I'm pretty sure Giannis was still going crazy in that series. So it's just like, I don't know. They got to be careful with that. I think Porzingis, like barring an injury, he could be that guy, but I don't know. I kind of see Porzingis as more of a shot blocker as though like a defender. You know what I mean? Al Horford, I see as more defender, not a shot blocker. But Porzingis, like if he can put it all together and he can stay healthy, the Celtics are going to be really scary. And I feel like people are sleeping on that fact. Like, but their bench just has to. If they have to step up, because it's gonna. I mean, I don't wish injury on anybody, but we see Kristaps Porzingis like his history. So, the Celtics got to be prepared for that. The next guy's got to step up, or else it could get real dark during the season.
Yeah, it's Luke Cornett and Neemias Queta is their backup bigs. So
they got
I think Boston might want to give a call to Dwight just to come in. It's a couple of teams where Dwight can still help out teams just in 15-minute, 20-minute intervals per game, like literally. Jordan's correct. That's my biggest concern. If they get injuries between one of those two, now you're talking about you got Tatum playing the floor, they doing small ball. It's not gonna turn out good. The other team in this, which Greg touched on a little bit, the Suns, they got Yusuf Nurkic, Nasir Little, Kevin Johnson, Grayson Allen. They got deeper. They got some depth, which was what was the concern for Phoenix. It was like, hey, they top heavy. How do you see Phoenix now as a team going into the season, getting Nurkic and Nasir Little and, the great defender, ball slapper, Grayson Allen?
They are going to struggle defensively, as that is what I always say. They're going to struggle defensively. Offensively, it'll be instant success, I think, just because you have those three scorers in the court. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to oversell it as an instant success. I'm over here making an adjustment in real time because I think about Brad Beal. Brad Beal has never played winning basketball in his entire life. I know they went to the playoffs a couple of times with John Wall earlier in his days with Washington, but you can go to the playoffs and still have not really played winning basketball in the NBA the way it was set up, especially before the play-in tournament and all that. And I guess even more so now, but it's going to be an adjustment for him. He's going to have to learn how to give up shots that he's used to taking and sacrifice. And that's not always a guarantee with guys like Brad Beal, who are guys who, were just used to scoring a lot. I think maybe he came close to winning the scoring championship if he hasn't already in his career. So that'll be interesting. Very different culture he's coming from in Washington to go to Phoenix right now, and they're trying to win a championship. And there's a lot that comes with that he has to adjust to. And I think Book is the guy who has to be your leader on that team. Book has to be your A guy. It's not Kevin Durant. I think Book, we're getting to a point where Book, I was saying last year, Book is better than Kevin Durant. And certainly in that playoff run, he was. We're getting to a point now where we're going to say overall that Book is better than Kevin Durant. I think from an offensive perspective, he's more complete. I think there's more things he can do. He doesn't rely on back to the basket game nearly as much. I actually think we're seeing a decline in KD's athleticism because he relies on that back to the basket game so much. I think that's part of the way his game has evolved, and it's evolving because he had to his face up game, just driving by dudes, blowing by people like he was in Oklahoma City, and even in Golden State, it ain't the same because of that injury. And that's something I noticed as a Nets fan, right? Teams were able to double him a little bit easier, come over from the weak side, right? Send a double, steal the ball. He's turning the ball over left and right because of the way that he's playing and making up and trying to compensate for the lack of athleticism at that point. But to the Suns' point, rim protection. There's none of it. So when you get past Bradley Beal, who's can be a good defender, I guess, but hasn't had to defend. Who's behind him? Nurkic? Well, you're going to score. You're going to score a lot of points. Nurkic ain't a defensive presence, and the Blazers couldn't wait to get rid of him. They regretted that contract the second they gave it to him. Right? He didn't have a great year last year. And I think he'll play better this year because offensively there'll be easier shots that are available for him because of the spacing. But defensively, they have a problem in the paint. And point of attack defense is okay. It ain't great. They don't have Nasir Little. You're not going to convince me that he's an all-defensive player all of a sudden. I'm just not going to believe that. I think defense is going to be their problem. I think that teams can take advantage of it. I think a team like Denver, who has a cohesiveness and been playing together for a long time, should still be favored over them. And I think the Lakers, with how deep they are, should actually be favored over the Phoenix Suns in a series. But I know people look at me like I'm crazy when I say that. But that team is deep, and they can build cohesiveness, and they're going to have a crazy front line defensively and great perimeter defense with Gabe Vincent, guys like that in the mix. So they're better than Phoenix.
People are not going to like you for that Kevin Durant take at all.
But it's real though. But it's the real though. And if you watch the game, it just backs it up. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to just take your stand glasses off for a second, KD's fans, and just see it for what it is, the guy's not the same. And if he had been the same, he could take over series and win series in a different way. You don't get swept by Boston with Kyrie on the floor, yo. I'm not letting that go, because you know what I mean. Like if Bron got swept today in a series at 38 years old, we would crush him. I'm not, and I know Reuben's thing always is like, oh yeah, you can't hold everybody to Bron standard. It's Bron. That's fair to an extent, but Kevin Durant's one of them ones, right? Like he's one of the all-time great players. He's one of those guys, and he has declined as a basketball player, and it's happening in front of us. And we're just not talking about it the way we should be. Certainly, as a defensive player, he's not the same, and offensively, his face-up game, like ISO, like getting to the basket, blowing by dudes, it is not the same. That's why he relies on that post-up game so much more, and he turns the ball over like crazy. There are things about his game that now, like, he's a bit of a flawed player. And I think the Nets came out smelling like roses with the deal they got for him. He's going to age very well.
So is it safe to say, based off what you were saying, y'all can all chime in and let me know what y'all think. This is D-Book team or KD team?
D-Book's
Devin Booker.
It's Devin Booker's team for sure.
He's a better player.
With all the offensive help they have, Greg, the things that you're saying, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be like, I mean, they had that team with the Nets, James Harden and Kyrie, but I feel like he has so much help now that, like, even if he does have those flaws that you're saying, and may I remind you guys, he averaged 29 points last year. So let's not act like this guy is some kind of, you know what I mean? He's washed up. I mean, you know what I mean? I see what you're saying, Greg, but he's still elite. Like for any NBA player. You know what I mean? For any NBA player, this guy is still elite. But I do agree with you. Their defense is really questionable. The only guy I'm really sure about on that team defensively is Josh Okogie. And if he goes down, they still gonna have to put up 1 million points a night regardless, just to beat a team, which I feel like they can do, especially in the regular season. But in the playoffs, if they have let's say they do make it to the finals, if they run into Giannis, I don't know how that's gonna look. I'm not even gonna lie, because you can't build a wall against them now. You know what I mean? Because they got Dame who's gonna shoot from 30 feet. But Nurkic is gonna have to step it up like big time. He's gonna have to be. Yeah, that is crazy. But yeah.
So he said, Miles said 50, 50, 90 on a decline is crazy. KD is that great where he could do that on a decline. I'm not saying he's not great. What I'm saying is in the playoffs, you see his flaws rear its ugly head when teams lock in defensively. Because regular season ain't nothing for a guy like KD. He's going to score 1,000 points. He can score whenever he wants. It's about when teams lock in defensively on their schemes and they really focus on him, taking him away. In the playoffs, his struggles are really pronounced. They show up in the playoffs. And I'm telling you, when they went to that little shell defense that Boston did, and Boston just sent an extra defender, it was like, yo, the dude turned the ball over left and right. And I know, look, he's gonna have more help with Phoenix. It probably won't be the same conversation. You may not see it show up the same way. But in that series against Denver last year, did we not see the same thing I'm talking about? We could pull clips. If him just turn the ball over, trying to turn over right shoulder, it's a turnover. He's throwing the ball, trying to make a pass, it's a turnover. He's not a good passer. He's not a good passer. KD is, and granted, we could score like that. Maybe you shouldn't be. Maybe you shouldn't pass the ball at all. But fine. But the basketball I was taught, you pass the basketball, you try to make guys better. It's a team sport. And so I'm just saying, like in the playoffs, that's where you really see those things rear its ugly head.
Do you feel that them swapping out Chris Paul for Bradley Beal is going to change anything about that? Because
I think it makes it worse.
You think it makes it worse?
Yeah,
he's not a playmaker, right?
Because Bradley Beal. So Bradley Beal's not his instinct is not to throw you the ball and get you a shot. His instinct is I'm gonna go get a bucket. They got a bunch of bucket getters, and I think their plan was to go get Brad Beal and to have Brad Beal play point guard for them, which I think is a comical idea.
That's a terrible idea. I think D-Book is running the PG, bro. D-Book has to run the PG.
D-Book is one of the best skip passers in basketball. I've been saying on this podcast for years. He's one of the best skip passers in basketball.
My bad.
And I think with him, he's probably your best playing point guard on that team. He's the most gifted player on that team offensively, and he's that guy. He's the guy you want to go to in big moments. It's his team.
Rube has entered. Rube has entered the building. He is on for the show. I want to ask you, Rube, based off of all the additions they have, Bol, Eric Gordon, what do you see from this Suns team? You know, Greg has his little bit of his doubts because of KD, and they don't really have defense. What's your thoughts on this team, D-Book, and everybody's been on one side or the other side? What do you think in regards of Bol? And Miles, you can hop in on this too. Like, is Bol going to have this big leap that everybody thinks he's going to have?
I hope so for Bol. I like Bol, so I hope so. But I think this team they're very gifted offensively, and like I've been telling Jordan, I was like, offense can trump defense if it's a lot of offense, and these guys have a lot of firepower and so much spacing. So like the point guard argument, you can't really double team anybody, so it's not that hard to make a pass to an open guy if they do try to double or anything like that. I don't think it's that hard. I think anybody that plays basketball at any level can do that for the most part, unless you're playing in middle school or like high school and you're just not that smart. So I think these NBA players are going to adapt very well. Brad Beal, Devin Booker, they're going to adapt. KD will. And they can go as far as they want to go as long as they play the right way. And they understand that it's Devin Booker's team at the end of the day, because I feel like he is the guy over there. And the finals should be where they go. But if it's not, I wouldn't be that surprised either, because the NBA is that deep now. We have a lot of great teams, so I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make it, but they should, though.
Hey, to Rube's point, Greg, and Miles, right? Miles Jordan. To Rube's point, everybody that they got on the roster shot at least 35% from three last year.
Oof.
So
that's scary.
Defense should be extremely good. This should be probably the highest scoring offense in the league, possibly.
I was gonna say, what's the first thing to go in a playoff series? What's the first thing that teams struggle with offensively in a playoff series? 3-point shooting. 3-point shooting. It never fails. Teams have a hard when the teams that are high-powered offenses. Look at Houston, crazy, but I'm trying not to curse. Crazy, like they went out there and took 27 threes against the Warriors, and I don't think they made any of them, and lost a game, a pivotal game 7. Or game 6, whatever it was. And so it's, again, they're going to be great in the regular season, and great watch. It's going to be fun on TNT on Thursdays and everything like that. And Chuck and them will be having a good time with it. But when they get to the playoffs, like I said, I just wouldn't be surprised to see them really struggle against teams that are more cohesive units and better defensive teams. Better defensive teams just go further in the playoffs, and teams that stress ball movement at a high level are better. And I just think the Suns are going to struggle defensively more so than offensively, but that defense is really going to be an issue for them.
For the Blazers, the other team in this, where do we see them as a young core? Where do we see them going this season and next couple seasons? Because they have now Scoot, Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, Jeremy Grant still on the roster, Ayton, Brogdon said he's going to rock out there, and Robert Williams, a core of that team. Where do you see the Blazers going this season and in seasons to come?
I think that the Blazers at best this year are a playing team. But that's all. I think that's all barring on how good Scoot is, because I feel like they have like really good young players, and that's counting Scoot. But Scoot has to make that NBA jump too. But I feel like the addition of Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams is gonna those are two guys that have already been in the league. I think DeAndre Ayton's going to be a nice piece for them too. I think he's going to be a long-term piece over Rob Williams, because I don't think that both of them are going to stay on the team. But I feel like their young guys are really good. I like Anthony Simons. I think he's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, to be honest. And I don't know. I feel like in a couple of years, if after all these old guys get out of the league, like KD and all them, after they're done, if Scoot is that guy, that team could be scary. And I really do like their depth. I think they have good depth in general, like for a playing team. And I think that they have some veteran guys like Malcolm Brogdon who's gonna help Scoot with his development. But DeAndre Ayton's got to be more defensive minded, and I think he's got to take a leap in Portland, because I feel like he wants to be there. He's already making nicknames for himself and stuff like that. I've seen on like Twitter. Dominate, yeah, they're dominating. So I think he wants to be there, and I feel like that dynamic between him and Scoot could look good. But that just all depends on DeAndre Ayton's leap. And I think it depends on how good Scoot is his first year. But I feel like Scoot's going to be good, like regardless. I think this is his first year. He's going to have some adjustments to make. But I feel like it's a lot easier to do on this team, like, because there's just so much, they have a lot of different things. They have young guys. They have the veteran presence in Rob Williams and Malcolm Brogdon. I don't know. I don't think Rob Williams has been in the league that long, but Malcolm Brogdon for sure. He can definitely going to help with Scoot's development. So I think that they could definitely be good in a couple of years.
Jordan hit the nail on the head, right, Miles? I think Miles about to say something. Go ahead, Miles.
No, I was just gonna say I'm looking forward to watching this team play this year. How the young guys play, like Scoot, but Shaedon Sharpe is the one that I'm like really looking forward to seeing play, because I think that of all the young players on this team, he's the one that has the highest ceiling of all the players on this team. I think he could be like a top 5 shooting guard in the league when it comes down to it. Like, he's more than just bounce. I feel like he can shoot, he can get to the basket. He's young, he's raw, like he didn't play in college, so that was basically like his freshman year last year. So I'm looking forward to seeing the jump that he makes this year. And I think, yeah, the ceiling could be playing team, but they can build off that. Like, this team needs experience. All these guys are coming together for the first time. You're putting a lot of vets with young guys, and yeah, I think Malcolm Brogdon being there is a big piece for those young guards on that team to kind of learn the ins and outs and how to, prepare for day in and day out in the NBA. But yeah, Scoot is going to be a problem this year, but I feel like low-key Shaedon Sharpe could end up being like the best player on this team.
Totally agree. I think that's what you have to look forward to as a Blazers fan for the next, 10 years or whatever it is. Hopefully he has a long career, but he's really talented. And I think Scoot's obviously very talented too. And the backcourt's where you get to watch. I think it's a little crowded. Anthony Simons being there too, right? But I think Anthony Simons played his best basketball last year without Dame on the floor. And so you have to watch him and see if he blossoms without him, which I think he will. He's going to have a really good year. Great fantasy pick for anybody who plays fantasy is Anthony Simons this year. And in this little group I'm talking to right now, don't pick him. But I think Anthony Simons is a guy you have to watch out for blowing up this year and really taking a step forward and being a leader because he's one of the older guys with Brogdon. They probably have to start Brogdon, you'd imagine, but they may go youth movement at some point. And that's going to probably piss him off. So we'll have to see how that all works out. They're an interesting team to watch for sure. I think watching Ayton and seeing how he does dominating, seeing how he does over there for the next few years should be interesting because his time in Phoenix just didn't end well. So I'll be interested to see how he does. And with Robert Williams down there too, and the defense he provides on the front line. I mean, they got a better front line of defense than the Suns do. They got a real strong defensive front line with Robert Williams. He may have to end up starting, for that team. So we'll see. But they'll be an interesting team. They're cute right now. I think that's the way I describe them. They're cute. They'll be fun to watch. If they come into your city, get some tickets, come watch them play. But they're a great league pass team to already start, and they built themselves up. They really did a good job for themselves in that Dame trade. That GM did right by the organization. I don't fault him for not just caving into Dame's needs, no matter how mad Dame was on the way out. He did right by that organization, and they made out very well in that trade ultimately. And especially for an aging player with the contract that's going to be considered bad at some point. And Dame's great, but it could be considered bad in 2 years, 3 years. You did really, really well. So kudos to him.
Hey, Rue.
Yes, sir.
Everybody go, and then we'll get into our drive. Who do you have coming out the East? Who do you have coming out the West? And if you had to give me one team that you're looking forward to, sleeper team, who would it be? And I'll ask this later, just a random thought. How do y'all see Jordan Poole and those Washington Wizards doing with Tyus Jones and Kyle Kuzma? They doing fashion shows and whatnot together.
Oh man, the Wizards. I'll start with that. I hope Jordan Poole blossoms over there and Tyus Jones does too, because I like both those players a lot. I think Kyle Kuzma is very talented too. So they have some pieces, but they're not going to be very great by any means. But they could be a playing team, maybe, possibly. Hopefully for them that that happens. But the next question you said, what you said? Who come out the East and West?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who come out the East? Who come out the West? Who you see winning it all?
Yo, coming out the East, we got the Bucks, bro. That's who I got. I'm not gonna lie. They got Dame and Giannis. I think that's probably the best duo in the NBA right now. Coming out the West, if the Suns play their cards right, it should be them. So I want to say them. Denver's still very good too. The Lakers are good too, but I'm gonna say the Suns for now. And hopefully, last year I was way wrong with my predictions, bro. I said the Cavs were coming out, bro. I was dead wrong, but the Knicks got them out of here.
Yes, sir.
But,
yes, they did.
But bro, we'll see. I think it should be the Bucks and the Suns possibly, but we'll see. It's really a toss-up in the West, bro, and in the East because the Celtics are really nice too. So it really depends, bro. Hopefully, no injuries.
Miles, for you, who's coming out the East, who's coming out the West, and who's a sleeper team that might be exciting to watch, might be a little Cinderella team like the Kings of last year?
Coming out the East, I'm going to say the Celtics. I got the Celtics. I think that with everything they have on there, Tatum, Brown, Derek White, defensively, they're really good on that team. And offensively, they got the firepower still. So I got them coming out the East. Sleeper team to come out the East, though, I got the Knicks. I mean, top to bottom, I think they're the deepest team in the East. If I'm saying, the bench, we got the best bench in the East, hands down. You might think that we don't have the top end talent, but across the board, there's not that big of a drop off anywhere you look. And then in the Western Conference, I'm going to say the Lakers. I think this will be the year that, Bron he's inspired. He's always inspired, but I think that Denver series kind of put a bad taste in his mouth, and he's ready to he's always ready to shut the doubters down. I mean, it's year 21 for this guy, and he's still a top 15, top 10 player in the league. So I'm not doubting him. And then AD, if he can stay healthy, that duo, that's all it is with them is health. If that whole team can stay healthy, their depth is crazy. And I don't think there's many teams in the West really mess with them. Not even the Suns. Like the Suns, unless they're scoring like 160 points a game, they're not going to go that far, in my opinion. But yeah, I got them in the West. And then what'd you say? Sleeper team coming out? I don't know if they're a sleeper, but like Golden State's always one of those teams that like you got to watch out for. I think the addition of Chris Paul adds a new wrinkle to the whole uh, thing they got going on over there. They can run pick and roll with him and Steph a lot more freely, and Steph can run off ball a lot easier now with a true point guard out there. And him and Clay out there shooting, it's gonna be tough. So, and you still got Draymond kind of setting screens and mucking it up out there. So I like that team right now.
Hey, before Jordan go, I gotta ask because Reuben's on the show. What do you see from your guy Wardell this season?
Oh my God, bro. You about to put up MVP numbers, bro. You about to average 30. 30 and 6. 35 and 6, bro. That's what I see from him this year, bro. And they gonna be like a top 4 seed in the West.
Hey, Steph playing the 2 and letting Chris Paul play the 1. We really might see a 35, 36 points per game type of season. He ain't got to facilitate. He still will, but Chris Paul setting you up and you ain't got to worry about setting the team up and getting your buckets. It might be scary. For those that's watching, y'all calm y'all nipples. I know y'all ain't like Pierre Jackson saying that he was better than Magic Johnson, but it's all right. Y'all going to be just fine. Jordan, same question for you.
So who I feel like is coming out the East, I'm gonna say the Celtics because I just like their defense a lot better, and I think that they have, considering they stay healthy, I feel like they have the best chance to win the championship. I do like Dame and Giannis a lot, but their point of attack defense, I feel like that matters a lot in a playoff series. And Pat Connaughton and Dame are just not cutting it to me. So I'm going to go with the Celtics there because Jrue Holiday and Derek White being in the 90th percentile in literally every single perimeter defense stat that's just mind blowing to me. And I don't know when the last time we saw something like that. So I'm taking the Celtics, even though I don't want to. I'm going to take the Celtics. And as a sleeper team, I have to agree with Miles. I'm going to go with the Knicks and I'm also going to say the Cavs, but the Cavs last year, like that depends on how Evan Mobley progresses as an offensive player, because I feel like Evan Mobley, he has to take a step offensively, and Jared Allen talking about the lights were too bright and MSG. I mean, that was a bad look for him. I don't know. But and if Darius Garland also didn't play that well that series either. But if they can put that together, because they have another year of experience under their belt, I feel like they can come out. But the Knicks, they do have a really deep team. And I think it really depends on Julius Randle, because this guy disappears like a ghost in the playoffs, like a ghost. He's like 34% from the field in the playoffs for his career. That is nowhere near acceptable. Like that's not even close to being mediocre. Like that's just horrible. And I feel like Jalen Brunson is just going to have to take the reins to that team. Like he's got to. And we don't talk about enough. Jalen Brunson, I think he averaged like 28 points. He averaged 28 points in the playoffs last year. And after January in the regular season, I think he averaged around 28, 29 points in the regular season. That's not like a 1 month stretch of that happening. That's like half the season right there. So I feel like if Julius Randle will allow Jalen Brunson to just take the reins of the team, which I don't know if he's going to do, and if RJ Barrett can hit a 3-pointer, then the Knicks can definitely, you know what I'm saying, they can definitely be a sleeper team for me. But as for the West, I got to go to the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are coming out the West. I'm not sleeping on the Nuggets. Every time somebody sleeps on the Nuggets, every time the media sleeps on the Nuggets, they come back and they do the same thing that the media says they're not going to do. So I'm going to go with the Nuggets. I can't doubt Jokic. I mean, he's just so good, and it's like he doesn't even try. Have you guys seen the interviews of him saying like, yeah, I haven't even touched a basketball in the offseason. And he's going to come in and average a triple-double this season. So it's just like, I can't doubt this guy. He's got some kind of, I don't know, he knows something we don't. But I'm going to have to also go with the Warriors as a sleeper team too, because we have counted the Warriors out before, and they have come back and proved us wrong. but I feel like their lack of size is gonna come back to bite them at some point. Because I feel like the West has just gotten a lot stronger, and they're gonna have to like step it up defensively. Kevon Looney and Draymond. I mean, I'm a big believer in Draymond, but I don't know. I just don't like the spacing. I don't think that, you know what I mean? I think that they have to really the size and everything. They should have gone out and signed Dwight Howard. I don't know why they're, dragging their feet on that, because they do need some size and some defense down there. Especially like because of how deep the NBA is in general today. But I feel like they're a sleeper team for sure, because you just can never count out the Warriors. They have so much playoff experience under their belt that can triumph everything I just said. So it's just like, I feel like the Warriors definitely can come out the West.
Greg, end it off. You get the last word on the picks. And by the way, whenever we hop back on for our viewers, because this is bonus content, we got Jordan and Reuben here, took time out of their Saturday, which we appreciate. We definitely want to talk about, USA getting the Avengers together to go demolish everybody in the world, since we're not world champions, Noah Lyles. We definitely want to have to talk about that, because Joe Embiid, he kind of ducked smoke, not going to France, not going to Cameroon. He went to stay with USA for a padded team, because that's the only, championship he's ever going to win is a gold medal. But Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the East, and I think it's a toss up between the Celtics and the Bucks. I'll lean Celtics because of their defense too, honestly, which I'd hate. So I hope the Bucks will pull it out, but I think the Celtics' point of attack defense is really strong. I think the only question I have about the Celtics is Joe Mazzulla's coaching style and this whole idea that they got to heap up a million threes throughout the course of a game. That worries me a little bit, but I think that overall, I think they can overcome that with their defense. So I would take them over the Bucks because of their defense. I worry about that. I think Jrue Holiday guarding Dame can be a bit challenging, as we've seen in the past. So we'll see how that goes. I think as a sleeper team, I'm gonna take an actual sleeper team, and I'm gonna say, the Pacers are a team that you could watch, and they'd be a team that came out of left field and could be good this year. The team that can get in the playoffs and actually make some noise a little bit. I like their rookie draft pick. I think is that where Jarius Walker went? I think that's where he ended up going. Yeah, so I like that addition. I like that team. I like Obi Toppin over there. Obi finally getting a chance to play some basketball and not having to be behind Julius Randle. Sorry behind. That makes a difference.
Chill out.
That makes a difference. And I really do think Obi Toppin's talented. I think you guys both realize that. I think him getting an opportunity down there is going to be, something to watch. I like him. He can knock down three ball. He's athletic. He can stretch the floor with the three. He can get to the basket. Obviously play above the rim as well. So I like him in a pick and roll game with Tyrese Halliburton. And another sleeper team I'll take too, and a shameless plug nonetheless. I think the Nets are going to be a very good defensive basketball team this year. I really do. I think they're going to be a really good defensive basketball team this year. Like really, really good. Dennis Smith Jr. is probably the best defensive guard, one of the best defensive guards, and by the numbers, like literally the top 2 or 3 last year he was. And they added him. I think if Ben can be anything close to what he was before, and you can't count on it. I'm not going to say you're going to count on it, but everything I've heard out of camp is really good. And from Jacques Vaughn, who's not known to mince his words, he's been very honest about Ben Simmons looking pretty good and looking like the guy who he was in Philly, and being fast, getting on the floor quick, being explosive, obviously distributing the basketball. So I if they can have him doing those things with Mikal, and I think Mikal's gonna have an all-star year and be an all-star this year. That's what my expectations for him. And Cam Johnson's one of those guys who is an ascending young player in the league. I don't see why the Nets can't be a team that makes some noise and just get in the playoffs, which they did last year, but make some noise in the first round series. I think that's just the goal at this point. You don't think they're going to go to the conference finals and make some noise, and I think they can certainly do that if they get the right matchup in the playoffs. So yeah, I think the Nets are another team that can be a sleeper pick and really have a strong season that people didn't expect because of the defensive ability and versatility. The West, I struggle with the West. I mean, I don't believe in the Suns at all as a championship contender. That's just me. obviously you could pick Denver. Yeah, sure. They could repeat. They have continuity and all that stuff, but I don't know, man. I really like what the Lakers did, and yeah, I'm admittedly a LeBron fan and all that, but I think at this stage in LeBron's career, he's gonna take a step back and he's gonna have to, and I think that he has a team around him that will allow him to do that, and I think they have a lot of tradable pieces, so they can make a big move if something does or present itself in the middle of the season. But I really like how deep they are. I really think they have a good chance to compete and actually make a run in the playoffs with their depth. I think Christian Wood as a value signing at the end for getting him for for literally a pack of smokes at the end of at the end of free agency period. That's a big signing for them. That's a big one, and that's a big deal. That's going to really help them offensively. And so I think that's going to be huge for them moving forward, right? And their ability to compete. Gabe Vincent, adding him defensively, what he adds to that team, I love it. Austin Reeves taking another step forward. He's really, really good. I love him as a guard. I love him as a guard for any team that's trying to compete and win a championship. So the Lakers are very deep, probably the deepest team in basketball, in my opinion. I think from top to bottom, I don't think that any team's deeper and has more players that can come in and affect the game positively than them. So I think the Lakers have a chance to win a championship. I feel comfortable picking them, even if it doesn't come to fruition. I think that they easily could. It's just injuries for them. A sleeper. I'm gonna say the Pelicans. If Zion can stay healthy, and I think he's due for a healthy season this year. With Ingram and with everything they have over there, McCollum, I know those guys that weren't healthy. McCollum wasn't healthy last year. That team can easily be a team that makes some noise and really is a hard out in the playoffs. Especially with Zion. Again, we've only seen them without Zion, and they've looked good without him at times. With him, and how when he's out there, he's 27, 10, and 6. So I really like them as a team that can make some noise. Obviously, injuries withstanding, but I think that's a team that could be a true sleeper. I don't consider the Warriors a sleeper. I'm sorry, the Warriors they've been dominant for most of this decade. So even now, as they've taken a step back, with Chris Paul and Klay Thompson and them, they'll be solid. They'll be solid this year. They'll be solid, but do I think they're going to win a championship? No, no, I don't. I do think that that Pelicans team is interesting though.
Oh yeah, the Pelicans are good. I didn't even think about the Pelicans.
I know it's all right. I know. You guys both went to the Knicks for your sleeper teams. The Knicks aren't a sleeper, by the way. I don't think who's sleeping on the Knicks. The Knicks have made the playoffs last few years. You guys are good. I think everyone knows you guys are good. You guys are going to get a superstar player in the next year or so. We know that's coming too. They're very much on everyone's radar. So I don't know who's sleeping on the Knicks. That's all I'm saying. I don't get that part.
Hey, to your point too, if Zion is healthy, staying away from Pornhub, really good season. All right, we're gonna do the all-time draft. Start off with point guards. Setting some rules. It's always a debate if AI is a point guard or shooting guard. AI will be in the shooting guard list. Anybody else, James Harden's gonna be in the point guard list. SGA will be in the point guard list if he gets picked. I don't know if y'all picking, but 5 picks. We're gonna start off. This is gonna be the order for the point guards. Jordan, Rue, Miles, Greg, Tone last. You get 1 pick, move on to the next person. Once that person's name is mentioned, he is obviously off the board. Jordan started off. Who's your number 1 overall pick for your top point guard of all time? This is all time. So y'all want to go back to the 60s? Go for it.
I got Magic Johnson, my number 1 pick.
Oh gosh.
I know he was going to get upset at that. But I just think Magic Johnson, he's a pure point guard, you know what I mean? So it's if we're talking about point guard, I gotta give it to Magic. Steph changed the game, but Magic, his playmaking on another level, that's what a point guard is. I gotta give it to Magic.
Rube, who's your pick?
Point guards evolve. Steph Curry, bro. Come on.
Miles, you got the next pick.
All right, I'm gonna take Isaiah Thomas.
You talking about the
Pistons, Isaiah Thomas.
Oh my God.
Greg, you up next.
Top point guards of all time. You guys got Isaiah. A lot of these guys, great guys, already off the list.
Jason,
Wait, what you say?
Jason Kidd, you gonna stick with your Nets?
Yeah, whatever. You pick Walt Frazier or something like that. Talk about the Knicks.
Yeah, he won chips.
Whatever. Or in 1940. And I'm gonna take Chris Paul comfortably here. I'm gonna take Chris Paul comfortably here. I love his total body of work. There's a lot of slander, but I want to take Chris Paul there.
I'm gonna start off. My first pick will be. I'm gonna actually go. You talk about slander. I'm going with Russell Westbrook. Why not?
Oh,
I feel so much better about my pick that he just chose Russell Westbrook. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Nobody said Oscar Robertson. Come on now. Oh,
hey,
man.
Your next pick.
Oh my goodness. I said it now. Oscar Robertson. Come on, guys. Russ and Chris Paul over Oscar Robertson is criminal. Come on now. What are we doing here?
You ain't got no Oscar Robertson.
Bro, he got a championship. Chris Paul and them don't got one. That's all I know. And I know Russell Westbrook not a winning player.
Yeah, Oscar was playing Walt Frazier when he got his.
Man.
What does that mean?
You know exactly what I mean.
I don't even like John Stockton for real, but oh man, I'm going Gary Payton, bro.
GP. All right, I like that pick. Miles, your next pick. Dave DeBusschere.
No, I'll take Steve Nash.
Yeah, I think that was gonna happen.
So it's me.
Yep.
I'm gonna take John Stockton. Just
ironic.
It is ironic, but you left that on the board and took Steve Nash over him. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll take John Stockton here.
I'm going to go with, for my pick, give me J Kidd.
I'm gonna go with Tony Parker. I think that he won 4 championships. I mean, he clearly knows winning basketball. So I gotta go Tony Parker.
And a finals MVP. So TP, he up there.
Yeah.
I got Penny Hardaway.
Okay.
No, I'm taking Kyrie.
Taking Kyle Lowry? BBL?
Kyrie.
Taking Kyrie over Dame is crazy, but okay. Go ahead. That's me. I'm next.
You got mad chips.
I'm gonna take Dame here. I feel comfortable taking Dame here.
You're gonna go D Rose.
You think Kyrie's better? He's not better than Dame?
No, I don't. No, he's not. He's not.
You're talking about right now.
I think it's a matter of fact. Like I think all time, I think that Dame is the better basketball player in my opinion.
All time and now, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Dame's better. I think Kyrie's more skilled, and I think Kyrie's more skilled, and Dame's a better basketball player. By the way, for all the simpletons listening to this podcast and want to sit here and act as if a guy's more skilled, it makes you a better basketball player, that's not the case at all. It's about how you fit on a team. It's a team sport, yo. It's a team sport. More than one person plays. All right, Kyrie can woo and ahs to death with his dribbling and his ability and all that stuff. The simple fact is, when you talk about his from a team perspective and how he fits on a team, Kyrie has sunk teams in his career, and Dame has not. Dame also takes a higher value shot at that. Dame's the second best shooting point guard ever, like period, ever. And so when you can do that and shoot from that distance and do it with accuracy and do it as well as he does it, yeah, I gotta take Dame. He takes a higher value shot and is one of the most efficient guys ever at doing it, outside of Steph Curry. So I'm gonna take Dame over Kyrie.
Yeah, Dame never had a.
And by the way, if Dame played with LeBron, Dame would have a ring.
I was about to say, if Dame had the same the same opportunities Kyrie had, like it wouldn't even be a discussion, to be honest.
Right, because when Kyrie's led teams, where does that put the team? Where do they go? When it's just him and his responsibility to be the leader of a basketball team. The Celtics, we saw what that was. They were better without him. But the Nets, we saw what that was. He sunk them he put us in the cemetery. Almost ruined my life.
Hey, chill, bro. Chill.
Give me a break. And then you're gonna say Dame better than Kyrie. Then he had the nerve to say he's better than Dame. Give me a break, yo.
You make good
that is a New Jersey Hooper Crew take right there.
You make good points. I was just looking for a yes or no, but
No, you got what you were looking for. There you go. Podcast. You got a couple clips out of that.
Yeah. Then I got James Harden. He's probably, if he's up there with the best scorers of all time. I'm not gonna get too crazy now, but he's up there for sure.
Give me Shea.
Reuben, stop it, please, bro.
She just got here. She don't
Reuben,
even know how to wipe.
Listen,
stop
bro,
it, stop
listen.
it, Reuben. Oh my God,
Bro, listen. He got a bag, bro. What do you want me to say?
Reuben, stop, bro. Reuben, he has proven absolutely nothing, bro.
That's the justification.
Most of these old school dudes, bro. I'm not moved by them, fam.
Yo, I'm sweating, bro. There's no way you just said that, bro.
I'm not moved, bro.
There's no way you just said
love
that.
Shea is crazy, bro.
I'm not moved by them, bro. Think about it, bro. You put all these guards in the old school times, bro. They're gonna wash them, bro.
Wait, has Shea been in the playoffs yet? Was he there with Chris Paul?
Maybe once. I think he got.
But he didn't lead that team. Though. That was Chris Paul's team,
bro. Listen, bro. In like 3 years, I'm gonna look at this and be like, "Damn, Ruben's right."
In 3 years, maybe it would have been a more valid pick, but it's not valid now. I'm gonna keep it a stack.
It's valid in my handbook, cuz.
The old niggas gonna be mad. Oh, my bad. The old heads gonna be mad.
I think niggas is in bounds.
Yo, they gonna be mad at you, bro. Oh
Yeah, he been in the postseason 2 years. It was 2018, 2019 with the Clippers, and then 2019, 2020 with OKC.
That 2018, 2019 don't count. That wasn't his team, bro. But come on, bro. Reuben, come on. And neither doesn't count with the Thunder either. That was Chris Paul's team.
I ain't changing nothing, fam.
Oh my gosh. That's
Maz, your pick. We going with Mark Jackson here?
I'm gonna go with Rondo.
That is every black person's favorite pick for point guard, yo. No, yeah. Rondo is a great point guard. Y'all know how I feel about Rondo. All right, yo. I think we're getting into a gray area here. I'm gonna go Darren Williams. His prime, I think, puts him in a conversation. I'm gonna go Darren Williams, man. Cole came to the Nets and BS'd a little bit, but Cole. Oh my gosh, he was so good.
People forget how good he was, especially starting off Utah. It was him and Chris Paul, and I'm taking Darren Williams back then over Chris Paul during that year.
Darren Williams guy, yeah, he was like that, bro. You know why I stand. You know my first pick was, but I'm saying, man, like Darren was so good. Yeah, I'll take Darren. I feel much better. I feel very good about that pick over Rondo.
SGA is still crazy. Oh my god.
Yo.
SGA is wild, yo.
That's an insane pick, bro. Yo, please post that on Instagram, bro. Oh my
god. Bro, I got y'all a clip, man.
Yo, that is crazy.
Hey, I'm gonna go with a throwback. I'm gonna go with Jerry West.
I can't disrespect the all-time legends. I'm gonna have to pick Wilt Frazier here. I feel like he dropped a little too.
Oh, you never even watched Wilt Frazier.
Bro, he still got chips though. He got rings. What SGA got?
You never seen no film on this bull.
No, don't. I know you're not coming at me after saying SGA, bro. Stop it. This man made the postseason as a second best player, maybe.
Against who? Plumbers, bro.
Yo, no, I'm talking about SGA. You talking about my pick?
Oh my god.
Yo, oh my gosh, bro.
Hey, guys, I'm doing some research in the background here while y'all talk about Walt Frazier. I want to see these guys' numbers, yo. Yo. In his season with the Cavs, 1979, 1980, he averaged 3.3 points, 1 rebound, 2.7 assists.
Yeah, that's his last year in the league.
Yeah, come on, bro. Like, that's not fair to say that, bro.
All seasons, okay,
wait, his best season as statistically. Hold on.
His best season, he had averaged 23.2 points.
Okay.
Averaged about 6.7 assists for his career. He was 18-5 and 6 assists. 7-time All-Star, Hall of Famer.
All right, we can't compare eras because that's the problem. Because it was a different brand of basketball. So like
his career numbers overall 18 points. Did you go over that? Was that his career numbers you just did, Tom? So I won't regurgitate that. Okay, so yes, that's more respectable. When you type in his name, they did him dirty on Google. First thing that pop up is is the worst year.
Oh my God, bro.
Your last pick, you got Steph Curry, GP, Penny Hardaway, and SGA on your squad.
I'm taking Tim Hardaway.
That's a solid pick.
Tim is that's interesting.
That's not a good pick, Tim Hardaway, the creator of the crossover.
I mean, he created something. That's cool though.
You not Jack and Tim?
I don't know how I'm feeling about this.
It's something. 8 miles, go, bro.
For my last pick, Pistol Pete. I'm taking Pistol Pete.
And I think Luka's really, really talented. I have my issues with Luka, but you know, if someone could pick James Harden in here, you know what I'm saying? If someone could do that, then I guess Luka's in bounds.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with Luka. As a talent, I'm gonna go with Luka. I have my issues with him. Don't get me wrong, but I'll go with Luka.
My last pick, I'm going with none other than Agent Zero, Gilbert Arenas.
That's nice.
His peak in 3 years straight, crazy. If he didn't get injured, I think he's in the conversation as one of the top point guards of all time, honestly speaking. Hey, that was the top point guards all time, top shooting guards, and we're going to end off the show. We're going to switch up the draft order. We're going to start with, because I know next week on this show, on another show that we have, Greg is going to tell me, yo, you did me dirty. Y'all gave me one of the last picks. So Greg is starting off. Greg's going to start off. Greg got the first pick. We're going to go with Miles, Rube, Jordan, and I'll end it off again. So Greg, your first pick, shooting guards. And we're going to put AI in that conversation for shooting guards.
I'll take the ball-headed legend himself, Michael Jordan.
Wow.
I'm shocked.
Why you disrespect him like that?
Wow, it's crazy, Antonio.
I could have said a lot of worse things. There are worse things you can call Michael Jordan. We can go down the list. He's also a coon.
Yo.
Jesus, you should have just led with that if you're going to diss him.
Yeah, right.
That's why I'm like, wow.
I
know how Greg feels about Michael Jordan. So for him to use that as his pick, he's just trying to be a good GM. But I know deep down he don't like him.
Yeah,
you got him on the trade block immediately.
I should.
You're not untouchable, bro.
No.
Jordan, Rue, Miles, and me. So Jordan, your pick.
Oh, Kobe, easy.
I wanted to be selfish and put myself as the pick so I could get Kobe, but that makes sense. Rue,
I got D Wade. Wade County.
I like this so far. We got the top 3 shooting guards arguably of all time, back to back to back to back. So we all feel good start. Miles.
Guess I gotta take AI.
4th? Wow.
I mean, who else?
I'm trying to think of who else.
Individually, maybe, but I don't know.
I'm gonna have to go with, he didn't play fully up to his potential, but I'm gonna go with Vince Carter.
Damn, I was gonna take Carter. I was gonna take him. Yeah, that's underrated. Tracy McGrady.
Go Ray Allen.
Hey, people forget Ray in Seattle.
Yeah,
Ray in
That
Seattle?
boy was nice in Seattle.
Hey, Jordan, you ain't even watching the Seattle, fam.
I can't. We don't got the internet, bro. You pick SGA. I don't want to hear nothing from you.
I'm not trying to hear.
I don't even want to hear nothing from you for the rest of the podcast. I want some SGA, bro. Crazy.
My fault, dude.
Yeah.
I got Reggie Miller.
It might be hot take, but Cheryl was better than Reggie. No cap. If the WNBA.
Who we say?
Who you say?
Cheryl Miller, his sister.
Oh, is she in the WNBA? She was.
That's why you don't know who she is, because she's a.
Yo, Reuben, you shoot.
Hey! I can't say nothing, bro.
Careful.
That's why you don't know who she is, because she played WNBA.
Hey.
Yo, the WNBA wasn't where it's at now when Cheryl was playing, but we can't ignore it. Cheryl Miller was dropping. Reggie's alluded to it too. Reggie was dropping a little 25, 30 in his high school games. Cheryl Miller was dropping 105. She dropped 105 points in high
Cheryl
school.
crazy.
So I think Cheryl was better than Reggie. If Cheryl, you feel me, they had the league where it's at now, Cheryl will be probably one of the all-time greats.
I'm gonna take Clyde.
Clyde.
Clyde Drexler.
Clyde told me.
Joe Dumars.
Mm.
Greg, is back to you.
I'm gonna say Chris Mullin.
Yorker.
I don't know about that one, buddy.
Greg funny, bro.
Mullin was nice. What you mean?
He never watched Chris Mullin, bro.
Chris Mullin was nice. I seen Chris Mullin. Nigga, I didn't take Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, nigga.
Yo, Reuben, everybody, they gonna hold that against you. Klay Thompson.
Damn, Jordan.
Damn.
That was who you was gonna pick, Reuben?
Yeah, I was gonna pick. Is Brandon Roy a shooting guard?
Oh,
Yes,
he was
sir.
like that.
Brandon Roy? Yeah, I'm gonna take Brandon Roy, yeah.
I'm gonna take Manu.
That was gonna be my next.
That was
pick.
gonna be my next pick too. That's crazy.
George Gervin. That's what.
Oh man.
Because I said Chris Mullin, and they want to look at me like I'm crazy. Chris Mullin had a 5-year stretch where he averaged like damn near 27 points a game. Very good. I'm gonna take D Book here. I think he's that nice. I'm gonna take D Book here. I feel comfortable doing that.
Sacramento Kings legend, Mitch Richmond, man.
You wouldn't even know Mitch Richmond, bro.
Reuben, why is you? Yo, come on, bro. Relax.
I'm there, bro.
Relax.
King's legend, man.
Kings legend, bro. Hey, the Kings don't have many of those, man. You gotta call them out when they are.
Mitch Richmond, what was he on? He's not the player that my man Chris Mullin is. I'll tell you that right now.
He won a chip though.
Wait, okay. He averaged 19 points a game, so he won a championship. That adds to it for sure. All right, win a championship, we'll do that,
bro. This is getting ridiculous, man.
Yeah, take Shea again, yo.
I'm gonna take Jimmy Butler, bro.
Oh, yeah. Is he a shooting guard?
Oh, he's a small forward. What y'all?
I feel like he's a small forward. I don't know if he's a shooting guard.
We'll give him Jimmy, yo.
Yeah, you can put Jimmy in it.
As far, yeah, because Jimmy, yeah, you can do that, yo.
I'm gonna take PG.
I like that.
We're gonna go with the champ, Rip Hamilton.
Yo, let me get Donovan Mitchell, yo. Donovan Mitchell.
No, chill.
No,
bro.
Oh my gosh. Joe Johnson.
That's a cold pick right there.
Joe Johnson, bro.
That was nice.
ISO Joe.
Oh man.
Rube, your pick.
Let's think about it real quick, man. I'm looking down lists, man.
This list is ugly. This shooting guard list is crazy. It's real top heavy.
It's just crazy, bro. There's really not that many shooting guards that like back in the day that was like I would put on this list, bro. Oh, if you go on Donovan Mitchell, I could go Jaylen Brown, but he got no left though.
Reuben, what are you? Reuben, oh my gosh, are you insane?
Yo, who do you want me to take over Jaylen Brown?
Jaylen Brown can't dribble. Did you see the video of him trying to dribble the ball with his left hand in the gym? Like just the last week. Come on,
still
bro.
average 25 with no left.
Bro, he got exposed in the playoffs.
So, all right, who are you taking? Oh, he played better than Jason Tatum against the Warriors in the finals. Who are you taking?
Not Jaylen Brown.
Who are you taking, Jordan?
It's not my pick, buddy. It's your pick.
Yo, Jaylen Brown. Yo, why are we disrespecting Jaylen Brown for?
Nah, take him if that's who you're gonna take.
Yeah, I'm taking Jaylen Brown, bro. I gotta look up his stats real quick.
Miles, your pick.
Did anybody take DeMar yet?
I was about to say I would have taken DeMar over him, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll take DeMar.
DeMar DeRozan's off the board, and I'll go with Mr. Six Man himself. Still right now, if you want it, Jamal Crawford.
Tough.
Yeah.
You already know how the vibes go. If you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready. Bench Mob, we out.